Hello everyone, welcome back to another cooking video. So essentially today, this is for all of my good friends out there who are like me sometimes, or maybe this is just your default. You find yourself in a position where you are either too busy or you're too lazy to actually cook a meal, but yet you still want something that is budget friendly, that is high protein, that is healthy, you know, all the good stuff. You don't want to sacrifice convenience for health. And so this is where I am here to help you, my friends. Fun fact, I was chit-chatting with one of my colleagues at work, and he is very much one of those kind of guys that's like, just does not like cooking, does not have time for meal prep, and you know, just really can't be bothered most of the time. However, I do not think that you should sacrifice your health simply because you do not have the time or the energy or the patience to actually cook. So in this video, we are going to be making 3 different recipes that require no cooking, that are still relatively budget friendly, that are super high in protein, that will satiate you and fill you up, and yet are super healthy and are just, you know, good for you. They're better for you than takeout, so trust me on this. Anyways, let's get to it, shall we? All right, first recipe is arguably and undoubtedly the easiest, most convenient source of protein, and it is my personal favorite. The mighty rotisserie chicken. Now, if you have a Costco membership, this is a no-brainer. It is like $7 here in Australia for an entire roast chicken that is like twice the size of this. Unfortunately, I did not have time to go to Costco. This one right here is just from my local Woolies. So for my friends trying to hit their protein goals, this one is for you. Let me show you what we're gonna do. All right, so we're gonna begin by just shredding the chicken. You wanna just start taking all of that meat off right here. And it's up to you if you wanna include the skin, depending on your calorie limitations or your fitness goals and stuff like that. Personally, I like to take half the skin off and leave half of it on just for flavor. Guys, I cannot tell you how many times this meal has actually just been my go-to / lifesaver when I'm in the office. So the great thing about these recipes as well is that they can be used for so many different kinds of things. For example, if you are going to a dinner party and you're meant to bring something, or people are coming over and you didn't have time to cook or anything, then you could easily whip this out and it is literally going to be delicious. I promise you, they will still be impressed. You also just want to be really mindful of any bones. All right, now to this, I'm gonna add our vegetables. Any salad kit will do. This is just the easiest way to get a bunch of vegetables into a meal really quickly. And most of the salad kits do have dressing already with it, but I'm gonna show you a hack because most of the time the dressings aren't very healthy. And so I'm gonna show you a hack on how to actually level it up and make it taste amazing. Okay, have you ever wondered why restaurant salads actually taste so good? It is because they add salt to the salads. Trust me, this alone is game changer. So, 1 teaspoon of salt. You don't want to add too much. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be suggesting things that you just add to your arsenal of things that you just constantly have. Keep these in your pantry, keep these in your fridge. It is gonna elevate anything that you do. 1 is lemon juice. It can literally just be the bottled kind because you're just chucking it into a salad. So, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of that into the salad. That's what's gonna give it a bit of a punch. I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. All right, and here's the thing. I love having a little bit of a sweet element in most of my meals, especially my salads. Whenever you take a bite and then you got like that little burst of sweetness, that is where the money's at. So today we're gonna be adding some blueberries. Super easy, you don't need to do anything. I highly suggest using fresh fruit over dried fruit just because dried fruit often has quite a lot of oil and sugar and it's not, you know, the best for you. So fresh fruit it is. I'm just gonna be adding about half the pack here because I'm actually going to be saving the other half of this pack for our next recipe. All right, now here's where you can get a little bit creative. So I've already added blueberries, I've already added the lemon juice, we've already got lots of different kinds of veggies going on. I like to have a bit of texture, and so you can literally mix all of this up and chuck it into a wrap and be done with it. However, maybe you just literally want a salad and you're looking for something a little bit more light. I am going to be adding croutons to this. So highly recommend just store-bought croutons. Those are honestly so good. I know I did say that this is a no cooking video, but I just so happen to already have some homemade croutons. Had a bunch of bread left over, so I just made croutons out of it. Let's just pretend that I bought these at a store. Just go with it, okay? Just go with it. I just heated them up on the pan so they get extra crispy. And now this is where you can start tossing. I will say with the croutons, if you're gonna be making a big batch like this, then just add whatever you need in when you individually serve them, because they are best when they are fresh and crunchy. I actually have a big Tupperware container at work where I'll just like chuck everything into and then just give the whole container a big shake. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. We have a big old bowl of salad that is pretty much good as it is. However, again, it's up to you how much you actually want to elevate it and pump it up. But if you add cheese, it just, again, takes it up to another level. I highly recommend either a nice bocconcini, this is baby bocconcini, or I also have some leftover feta. Or if you also have Parmesan cheese, that would be delicious. Then it becomes kind of like a chicken Caesar salad situation. I'm just gonna add some feta into this actually, because I love the fact that the feta gives it a little bit of saltiness as well, so it's just extra flavor. Now for our final touch, we're just gonna add a bunch of freshly cracked black pepper. And there you have it. Literally nothing new under the sun here. Like, I'm sure you've all seen a chicken salad before, but it's just a bunch of little additions and little things that kind of just pump up the salad into something that is just something extra. So it can either be a flippin' bougie as midweek meal that you literally did not have to touch a single pan for, or a knife or a chopping board. Or it could be a really, really easy dish that you bring to a dinner party, you're hosting friends, whatever. It is mwah. Chef's kiss. This is so easy. It's so yummy. Oh my god. Shall we give it a taste? Literally the biggest mouthful ever, but you guys, just make it. That's all I can say. Just give it a go. Okay, so for this next recipe, we are doing a more affordable, healthier, and higher protein take on a caprese salad. Caprese salad is basically slices of mozzarella, basil, tomato arranged onto a plate and then drizzled with a little bit of balsamic glaze. But anyways, I guess this is what you could call the poor man's version. We are starting with some basil. Also, just kind of ignore that plant right there. Yes, it is dying. And no, I don't know why. So yeah, just kind of ignore that, okay? It doesn't exist. Okay, we're gonna start with a platter here. This can also be really, really good if you're having a dinner party and you just forgot to make something or you didn't have time. Instead of fresh mozzarella, which can be quite expensive, and let's be honest, doesn't have that much protein content, we're gonna use cottage cheese. We're gonna start off with literally just a whole bed of cottage cheese here. That was around 250 grams. Gonna do a little drizzle of olive oil, a little drizzle of balsamic glaze. This is another sauce slash condiment that you need to have in your pantry because again, it just elevates everything. It's got a really, really sweet, sour, tart flavor to it that just, I don't know, it's giving Italy, okay? Like anytime I put this over anything, I'm like instantly transported to Europe. So now we have our base. I do apologize that for this recipe, you will have to bring out a chopping board, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's not gonna take that long. We've got our little cherry tomatoes here. You can use whole tomatoes if you wish. I like cherry tomatoes because I find them a little bit sweeter. I am just washing them. In terms of prep, I literally just need to cut them in half. Now we're gonna add in the protein, and it would still taste really, really good, but to kind of match the flavors a little bit more, I'm gonna be using ham. Now, here's the thing about ham or any kind of processed meats like this. I wouldn't really suggest using these on a daily basis, just simply because there's a lot of processing and chemicals and whatever that kind of happens to make the meat like this. It's not really that pure, and it does contain quite a bit of sodium. That's just my little take on it. It's not the best thing for you if you're consuming this every single day. All right, so now, like I said, we're gonna be adding in a little bit of sweetness in the form of blueberries. Now with a salad like this, adding a little touch of sweetness in the form of fresh fruit is just magical. Now we're just gonna use up the rest of that blueberry punnet and put that on here. If blueberries are not in season where you are, you can use stone fruit, peaches, nectarines, whatever. You can even use strawberries if you want, that would be delicious. You can even use grapes. Just slice the grapes in half. It is delicious. And finally, we're gonna use up the basil. So here in Australia, they call this basil. I still refer to it as basil. And yes, I get absolutely roasted for it. However, all my American friends in the comments right now, unite. You know that little emoji that kind of looks like basil? Yeah, just pop that into the comments and I'll know that my American friends are out there rooting for me. The basil in this salad is not just a garnish, it actually adds so much flavor. I'm gonna add some of those in. So our salad is basiling real hard right now. Now we're gonna do the final drizzle of our balsamic glaze. Another little light drizzle of olive oil. And voila, there you have it. A fake caprese salad. Oh my gosh. The flavors. I seriously think that you guys need to stop whatever you're doing and make this right now. Okie dokie, we are literally almost done with this video and that actually excites me so much. This is probably gonna be the fastest, quickest video I have ever made in my life. So it kind of makes me think that maybe I should make more of these. Let me know in the comments if this is the kind of content that you like. For this last and final recipe, we are gonna be using not canned tuna, canned salmon. I already made a canned tuna video, so if you haven't watched that, check it out right now. It does require a lot of cooking and actual chefing. If you want to sub out the canned salmon in this for canned tuna, you 100% could. I'm just using canned salmon because number one, I actually prefer the taste of canned salmon, as weird as that sounds, to canned tuna. It is a little bit more expensive, but for me personally, I actually think that it's better. One can of these contains 10.2 grams of protein, so depending on your protein goals, you would probably use 2 or 3 cans for one salad. If you are having one of these tiny little cans for lunch, it is not enough. Anyways, let's make the next meal. All right, we're gonna be using cause lettuce in this recipe. You could definitely also use another salad kit, but just to show a little bit of variety, and also the fact that if you buy lettuce like this, it's a lot more budget friendly than buying a salad kit. If you are prepping this in an office situation and there are no cutting boards, or for example, let's say you're in a hotel and there's no kitchen space, then no stress. I will say that you probably do need a knife at the very minimum. So I'm taking all the big leaves off, and then once it gets to this point, I'm literally just gonna twist the end right there, get rid of that, and then all the leaves should just kind of like pop off. So easy. Okay, so now when it comes to your lettuce, like I said, you don't need a chopping board. All you need is just a little bit. Just tear it. I like to make sure that my leaves are on the smaller side just because I don't really love biting into a gigantic leaf and having it just dangle out of my mouth. Now, I'm gonna add some cucumber, but this is optional. I'm just adding it because I like a little bit of texture and variety in my salads. Take your knife and rotate the cucumber in your hand and then just make small, tiny cuts like this. And that is all you need to do. I actually really like the rustic nature. The smaller your pieces are, the more surface area there is and the more the dressing will coat each individual piece. So your salad overall will just be a little bit more tasty. Each bite will have a little bit more flavor. And voila, that took like 2 seconds. Okay, so at this point you already know that I like adding texture into my salads. And so I'm just gonna be adding some cashews. You can use seeds, you can use whatever nuts you want. You can even do the croutons again if you want. But yeah, I am just gonna be adding some cashews. Even though we are gonna be adding dressing to this, I still really like to make sure that there is as much flavor as possible, and I don't like to overdo it in the dressing because most of the time dressings can be quite calorie dense. And so just to keep it light and just to give it extra flavor, I do this with all my salads. Lemon juice, again, same as the first salad. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, I need to transfer this into a larger bowl because it's already kind of at max capacity. Our protein goals at the moment are to try and at least achieve at least 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. So I am using 6 cans of this salmon, and that is going to basically be 2 portions. So as you can see, this meal is actually pretty much carb free. And that is not because I necessarily disapprove of carbs, it's just because sometimes I like to have a carb free dinner, or I like to have a carb free lunch. You know, just space out my carbs a little bit throughout the day and not necessarily have them for every single meal. The mistake that people make sometimes when doing carb free meals or lower carb meals is that they don't actually have enough. Because what you think is a normal portion, if you take away the carbs, then basically what this is, basically just a bunch of leaves and a bit of salmon. And so that's why even though the portions of this kind of look a bit huge, if you're gonna be eating salads, you need to have bigger portions in order to actually feel satiated and in order to feel full. So people may be like, girl, that is a big salad. And you know, don't be ashamed of that, because yeah, salads are meant to be big. Salads are meant to be hearty. Honestly, that is my biggest takeaway, is that if you're gonna be having a meal that is predominantly vegetables and meat, then you gotta up your portion a little bit of the vegetables at least. Now, honestly, this looks like quite a lot for only 2 portions, but you also have to remember that it's mostly just lettuce and cucumber, which is basically mainly just water. I know that this is meant to be a no cooking, no prep, super quick and super easy kind of meal video. So that's why I will be showing you 2 different variations for the dressing of this salad. Number 1 is my personal favorite and my best friend, the Nando's Peronaise. If you don't live in Australia, find yourself an equivalent, but it is essentially a spicy mayo. It is significantly lower in calorie compared to something like Kewpie mayo or any other kind of dressing. That's why I actually love this and I highly recommend it. So you could definitely use this for this salad and it would be delicious. I would recommend probably like 3 tablespoons and then just like mix it all up and then see how you go from there. If you need a little bit more flavor, you can add a little bit more lemon juice, a little bit more salt, maybe some black pepper, and see how you go before adding more mayo. However, because I am a little bit extra, I will be showing you my all-time favorite salad dressing. And this elevates any kind of vegetable, any kind of salad. The key to a good salad is honestly just the way that you dress it. It does not matter what you put in it, as long as the dressing is bomb, then that's all you really need to worry about. So I would suggest you making this at home and then bringing it to work or wherever you need to go, or just keeping it in your fridge. And that way you always have a really yummy dressing whenever you need to make a salad, etc. But we're gonna start off with gochujang. This is also a really tasty marinade for meat. I actually like using crunchy peanut butter for texture, but if you're a smooth kind of guy or gal, then no stress at all. Always give it a taste test. Oh my, that is so good. Feel free to adjust the gochujang levels to your liking. I personally like a little bit of spice, but if you're not very good with spice, then I would suggest using just half of that to start off with. Now here's the glorious thing about this salad is that if you wanted to make it a little bit more hearty and you didn't really care too much about your carb content, you could add some rice, just even those microwavable rice packs, or you could serve that on top of rice. Or again, you could put all this into a wrap, call it a burrito, and call it a day. All right, now we're gonna give it that all-important taste test. Oh, heck yes. Okay, everybody, that is basically the end of this video. That is quite literally the fastest video I think I've ever filmed. Honestly, I am still flabbergasted at how delicious every single one of those were. This is honestly not me even tooting my own horn because I didn't cook anything. It is literally just the ingredients speaking for themselves, you know? This is how good food is. These are just so perfect for those days when even at the end of the day, you really cannot be bothered cooking and you just gotta like whip something up really quickly together. Then it's just, it's for you, man. It's for you. Thank you guys again for all the support. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the love. I genuinely really appreciate all of you so much from the bottom of my heart. Ciao for now.